Alright guys, it's finally time to play some Ace Attorney Chronicles. Or sorry, I mean the Great Ace Attorney. You know, you gotta have that great in the title, otherwise it's not gonna work. Now, I don't know if the graphics are supposed to look like this. It looks a little weird to me. But, yeah, I've been wanting to play this game for a long time. And, well, now I finally get the chance to. You can like select which game you want to do, right? Nah, I'm just gonna do new game. Hopefully it's not too laggy.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation.
Welcome to Japan, bitch.
The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide.
And someone died. Bro, he just started, man. You can't kill someone already.
The turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
Episode 1, The Adventure of the Great Departure. It is the 22nd of November. It is 8:43 a.m. We're in the Supreme Court of Jurisdiction. Wait. Let me reread that. Judicature. You know, Judge Judy. Defendant's Antechamber 5. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? Ah, very nice. What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. Sorry. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I can't talk today. Naruhodo. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. Yeah, is it just me, or does, like... I don't know, the graphics are kind of off. Let me just double-check. I think it looks fine. I have it on borderless mode. Anti-aliasing. I don't know. I have it on max resolution, too. So... I don't know. Maybe that's just how it looks. And now here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough. He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes. And until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you'll hold your tongue. Huh. Technicalities. Look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. And yet I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right, Ryunosuke? Oh, yes, of course, sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, no. I suppose that wasn't my fault. Is there a way to increase text speed? But really, Cosma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Ah. Ah. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by a student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not. You have to believe me. I didn't do it. I could never murder someone. Huh. And there's nothing to worry about. Strain yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Kazuma Sogi, my best friend, also in his second year at Yume University. But he's far more clever than I. A star student, in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive, considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyway. My qualifications don't mean much. Yet. You said You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Congratulations, Kazuma. Looks like you're gonna study abroad at last. I know, I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government cities have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you, and proud as your friend. There's not a soul in this university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing him around this temple. I want to bring about change on our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay up and enjoy this place a little while longer. Yes, we're going to London, guys. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow, then, partner. And he vanished. It was straight after that. That means it was gay before. That's when it happened. Are you going to play Ace Attorney in order? Well, there's 2 great Ace Attorney games. So, yeah. Sogi, may I have a word? Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me. But never mind that for now. Asogi, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who's this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yeah, thanks, Kazuma. The bow. Ugh, this is awkward. If I may? Yeah, sorry? You must be the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. I'm gonna keep saying his name wrong, god damn it. Yeah, that's right. My name is Eugen Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensics medicine at Yume University. Ah, Professor Mikotoba. I've heard the name from Cosmo before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Cosmo studying abroad. Asogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. Oh. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you no doubt heard, Asogi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that the permission will be revoked, and never granted again. What? As I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asogi may have chosen not to tell you. Oh. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered? But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas study. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it, I swear it. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Ooh, the violin team is going ham. Sorry, what do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. Oh. But then what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so... As soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? But what will the question be? Surely not, do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant! Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. It would seem our... What's that word? Surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. That's a new one. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Sogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving. There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Cosmo's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. My one and only chance of proving my innocence. The trial that would decide my destiny. November 22nd, 9 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. I have to learn how to say that word. You know what? You know what? Before I even start, why don't we ask Google how to say this word? Because, yeah, let me... Because I want to make sure I'm getting this right.
Judicature.
Judicature. Okay, I can do that. I can say that. See, I don't know if I'm ever going to do Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, because I know the stories of all the games, so there's not really much point in playing them, honestly. But these games, I have never seen the story for, so it's going to be exciting. Also, I love that the date is structured like it is in the UK. That's a good detail. So this is a courtroom? Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in the land has more power. I don't much like the look of these people sitting in the public gallery. Hey, it looks like fucking, what's his name? From SMT? Rido? There's just like a bunch of Ridos in the audience. Yeah, there's 2 Great Ace Attorney games. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time, but for now... You need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. The gavel! Holy shit. Look at this judge. Dude, this guy looks like... He looks like a fucking superhero or something. Wow, great. What voice do I give the judge? He's like a younger looking judge than like the judge in normal Ace Attorney. I'm gonna think about something. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency.
As is the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedure is for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I'm obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial?
This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do... I need to answer quickly. What should I say?
Answer I do. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear. Yes? What is the meaning of this unruly outburst?
I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself.
You'll be... what? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke?
Professor Migatoba told me everything. Just now, before the trial.
He did what?
He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose.
Hold on, I need to take a drink. It's a reading game, so there's gonna be a lot of drink breaks. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off.
No, it's not that, really. It's just that... Well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you...
Yes. I knew that's how you'd feel. Which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Migatoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. I love that, like... that gavel is great. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial.
Well, well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel? Really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent, he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Oh, yes, exactly.
Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered.
Huh. Well, for a mere university student to be brought here before the Supreme Court. I am a fan. You must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed.
As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature in Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standard of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo?
Yes, Your Excellency.
It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you've undertaken.
My competence? What does that mean?
He's questioning your ability to do the job.
Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am.
So, let's start with the very simplest of questions.
Oh, yes.
Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case.
Oh, well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I care to remember. But, wait. Ugh, I'm so nervous I can't even remember that. What was it again?
Ryunosuke. Let me guess, your mind's gone blank?
You know me so well.
All the relevant information for the case can be found in the court record.
But I can't even find that.
It's simple. You can access the court record with a press of RB.
Or is it this button? Wait, which one? I was pressing that.
If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there.
I just have to press that for the court record? Alright, there's no time to lose. Oh, now I can use it.
This is the list of all the evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead with RB.
So I got the university color pin. Proof that I'm a student at the Imperial Yume University. I always wear it on the collar of my uniform jacket. And, yeah, we can check out the victims and the people and all that. This game is more about reading. Yeah, well, you know, not like Neptunia. I had to take a lot of drink breaks.
You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press to go back.
Okay.
So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. Now, you'd better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press to present.
So we got Kazuma Asogi, a second year at the Imperial Yume University. He's my best friend, and despite being a student, a qualified defense lawyer as well. We got Yujin Mikotoba, a medical school professor at the Imperial Yume University. He's an authority in forensic medicine and Kazuo's mentor. We have, Takesuchi, is it Ouchi? Ouchi? I think it's Ouchi, because, you know, typically, the Pain family has to do with, like, pain noises. You got Winston, Gaspin, and now Ouchie. Ouchie! The lead prosecutor of this case, who would appear to have little love for the changes the Cultural Reformation has brought about. And then we have John H. Wilson, the victim of this case. He was a visiting professor of medicine at Yume University from the British Empire. Which one's Y?
Yes!
Yes! The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson.
Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university.
Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to Yume University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present over our country's most valuable foreign ally. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations.
The negotiations.
There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation.
And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates in the Imperial Yume University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor?
But I didn't do it.
This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter.
In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers.
Man, we get to be a weeb and we get to be a British person? This is great. Everything I could ask for, being British and being Japanese.
And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. Seeing an English class tomorrow then, partner.
And then he disappears.
The British Empire. Wow. It's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still. I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson.
Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo.
Yes, Your Excellency.
How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before this the cause of death.
The cause of death? Well, obviously, that was, Ryunosuke. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows Professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now.
Well, I guess it would be the post-mortem report. Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. and was caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. Okay, that would be... Can I examine it? Oh, here we go. We can get more info. Victim, John H. Wilson, male, British, time of death, 19th of November, shortly after 2 p.m. Cause of death, single bullet fired at close range, fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma. No exit wound, bullet did not pass through body. Okay.
Yes! Yes! Well... According to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma.
Learn to read, you imbecile. That's the post-mortem report, I take it.
Sorry, yes, that's right. The, post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later.
This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime.
Damn.
You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range.
Like, you know, just pull out a shotgun, DMC style, bang.
Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record.
The photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court record. A photographic print that shows the victim, he was shot from the front in the chest and subsequently died. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. I like how all of the are all the pictures gonna be in black and white? Because that's also a really good, like, detail. Because, you know, it's like, what, the 1800s? So, like, they didn't have color yet. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible.
Very well. I'm satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial.
Certainly, Your Excellency. So without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, I read that wrong. The prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened.
This is it then. Huh. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikitoba? Yes. Clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I could still act as your assistant. Of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me will greatly be appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first.
Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please.
Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called La Carnival. Are you alright? You see me coughing up some, It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. Well, it really should.
As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's becoming a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery, 3 days ago.
Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident.
At once, sir.
And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please.
Oh, perspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it, too. There was hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair, and standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes!
Yes! Hold on, let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him.
Objection!
He's got a funny voice. Objection!
I believe I asked you to refrain from any petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness report of what he saw, you amateur.
But...
The next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you'll be penalized, Defendant Naruhodo.
Don't worry, Ryunosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must quietly listen to the witness.
If I may confirm one point later, standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today?
Yes, without question.
I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim?
No. There was no one else around that table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh? Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around the table. What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Oh, wow, we haven't seen this before. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Should probably wait and see, honestly. I desperately want to say something, but I was told not to interject. Ryunosuke, if your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who would diligently get to work, aren't you? I suppose I am. I'd never have gone to Yume University otherwise. Well, you can't just always follow the rules in life, you know? If you don't say what you want to say right now, you'll seriously regret it when you're found guilty. Alright, you scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. And there is something I want to say. I'm just gonna shut my eyes and say it.
Yes!
Yes! Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Attention! Dear me, dear me. What are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all?
But I'm sure of what I saw. Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy? No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please have a look if you'd like to.
Let me see. Ah, a sketch of the establishment's layout, drawn by yourself, I presume?
That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone.
Well, you're clearly a very
Oh god, can I Google this one word? Conscientious? Hold on. Give me a sec. I'm gonna make sure I'm saying this right.
Conscientious.
Conscientious. Okay. Thanks, Google. Thank you, sir.
The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence.
Oh, well...
Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once.
Of course. Here you are.
What was that about?
He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. The The waiter's business card is being entered in the court record. And you're just coughing over and over. Ugh. Sounds like the fucking... The ooh from Lisa.
So, the court has now heard
A precis of the case? I mean, I'm learning all kinds of new words. Also, can I look at that real quick? The head waiter's business card, a sketch of the restaurant's layout, is on the back. Got it.
Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant. The only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at the black and white case here.
The black and white? Man, I really can't read. I can never read, bro. I swear to God.
Defendant Naruhodo.
Yes, Your Excellency.
If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you.
In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense if you're determined to pursue matters further in this trial. The prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime.
What do you think I should do, Kazuma?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm gonna be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me this trial's unusual, about these peculiarities. You said it, Professor Megatoba said it, and so is the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? If the accused in fact isn't, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. Oh. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is.
Indeed. Prosecutor Ouchi, please continue with the proceedings.
Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witnesses.
Very well. Officer, bring forth the witnesses at once.
Look at these two dudes.
Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court.
Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Iese Nosa, reporting for duty, sir.
Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles and antiquity from the affluence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premises in the 2nd District, Kiryo Korikuda, at your service.
An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing.
Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question.
They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post noon, and not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios with which I make my business. can't understand a word that old man's saying. Some good juice. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer.
Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this atrocious incident. Is that correct?
Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner, which can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was that black uniformed rogue infantry over there who has unloaded his firearms, sir.
This man's as pot on their stand as the other. I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. So, this is decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier's claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yeah. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start.
Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You'll state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred.
Sir, yes, sir. Standing by ready to report, sir. Unsavory memories of a most... I don't know what voice to give this guy, by the way. A most acerbic afternoon. Witness testimony. What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman.
At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel...
I was on my hands and knees, investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio.
Can I look up what a curio is? Because I don't remember. A curio is... Who is curio? I don't think this is what I'm looking for. What is a curio? I think it's a... What is it? It's a rare, unusual, intriguing object. A curio cabinet is a specialized type of display case. I'm gonna guess it means the first one, then.
Well, so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment? You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim.
Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy.
What times we live in, when English gentlemen may be assailed in the broad light of day.
But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Ryunosuke? Yeah, all I did was pick up the gun I saw lying on the floor. After I'd said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant, when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up... Bang. Bang, bang. Well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere.
And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who the criminal is.
There is?
Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses.
Cross-examine?
Do it now.
As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice.
Certainly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of the...
Is the only thing he can say is yes?
What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst?
The defense demands its right to cross-examine.
Dear me, dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimachi headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic.
Huh? How'd he know?
The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection!
The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Cosmo's so commanding.
Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses.
Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination.
Isn't it obvious?
You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means what that soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it, and the key to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. Alright then. It's all or nothing. Ooh, look at that. That's fancy. What the witnesses saw.
I was ingesting a regulation...
Oh yeah, wait, so I guess we can just press these.
Yes!
Yes!
What? Why aren't you saying anything? Is this some new interrogation technique?
I hadn't actually thought of what I wanted to ask. Just ask about anything that catches your attention. Anything that bothers you. Alright then, this beefsteak you mentioned. What kind of food is that?
Beefsteak is a delicious cut of veal vigorously cooked on a cast iron grill and served piping hot.
You know, I should give him the fucking buzz cut voice from Beavis and Butthead. That's like a good voice for him, I think. Oh.
If food could receive medals of honor, beefsteak would be almost as highly decorated as a cutlet.
Right, I see. Thank you, sir. So, next question. This cutlet you mentioned, what kind of food is that?
T-Kyun! Cutlet is a delicious cut of veal tossed in breadcrumbs and deep fried in cooking oil. Accept your guilty verdict, atone for your crimes, and when you're released from prison, try it!
Yes, sir, I will, sir. On the double, sir.
Sorry to interrupt, but how about trying to stick to questions that are relevant to the case?
Oops, sorry. I'll do my best. So, next question. Is it just me, or do you keep hearing a sort of whack crying noise?
Negative.
Well, at least we've learned that he's a big beef lover.
Affirmative. It's not easy knowing what questions to ask. I got an achievement for that. Myself, I was okay, we don't need to read these again.
Yes!
I have no idea what you're talking about. A Koban, boy. Koban? You mean old Edo coin? The day prior to the incident, a treasure of exceptional value from the Hoei period entered my possession. I took myself to the restaurant the following day, with said items secreted in my bosom pocket.
I love that word, bosom.
In the hope of an affluent cognoscent appraised of its indisputable value being present.
Cognoscent? That's another new word.
So, you were hoping to sell your Koban coin? To Sergeant Nosa, whom you met at the restaurant?
Yes, it's quite clear where you're going with this, boy. You were about to assert that a penniless soldier would have no hope of purchasing a precious Koban. Isn't that so?
Well...
You little upstart cadet! You want to add disrespecting a superior officer to your list of crimes, do you? Blatant subordination?
No, I didn't say anything. Although penniless might be just the word I was looking for. In any case, the hour was already advanced beyond that of midday luncheon.
Ah, Superintendent Chalmers.
There remained precious few present with whom I could engage in discourse about matters of business. The gentleman aside me, whose grappling with his praised veal at the time was my sole prospect. I see.
Firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes.
Yes!
So, you're saying that you actually saw me at that time?
Affirmative, I saw you laughing, cackling like a madman as you trained the barrel of your gun to the English civilian.
But that's impossible. I only... Allow me to confirm just one point, please.
What's that, Private?
Thinking carefully about the statement you just made, it seems to me that it must have been just after you heard the gunshot that you're looking at the victim's table.
And so what if I was?
Well, if that really is the case, it would mean that you didn't in fact see the precise moment when the killer actually fired the gun.
Arg! And double arg! My sixth sense?
Sorry?
My sixth sense of danger? I picked it up the waves of murder's energy radiating from your foul mind. Which means, butthead, a split second before you pulled the trigger, I was looking right at you, cadet.
Surely that's not really possible, is it?
Do you think I got where I am today in the army if I couldn't sense danger in the air, son?
Well, it would seem this soldier's absolutely convinced that he saw you do the deed. This is not good.
The black uniform varsity cadet fired on the English civilian from the back. The cowardly little weasel.
Yes!
So this black uniform university cadet, you're saying that was...
Arg! I've just had enough of your sauce, cadet. Who else you see around here in black uniform, huh?
Well, there's someone standing right next to me who fits the description as well, but...
It was you, you little weasel. You unloaded the firearm on that man. From behind his back, and you call yourself a citizen of the great empire of Nippon. You disgust me.
What is it, Ryunosuke? I'm not quite sure. It's something that the sergeant just said, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Something's playing on my mind. In that case, check back over the details of the evidence you gathered in the court record. And if you find an inconsistency there with what the witness said, then don't hold back. present the evidence to the court, thrust it in the witness's face, and make him choke on it. I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts.
Yes!
Sure. We'll read about this too. On your hands and knees? Could you explain that, please? That's right. Spurning the arthritis, I was in order to retrieve the lost piece. What lost piece are you referring to?
The Goban, of course. The exquisite Hoi Kara Goban coin. I'd just been showing the rare treasure to the military man as he masticated his meal. After averting my eyes from the briefest moments, it was there no more. It simply vanished. The Goban vanished? Hence, I began to acquaint myself with the intricacies of the floor in order to locate it, and then it happened.
Bang. You heard the gunshot, you mean?
None other than, though it was no concern of mine. I was frantically scouring the floor for the aforementioned lost treasure.
So in fact, you didn't actually witness the precise moment when the incident occurred?
Indeed, myself, I did not.
I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here. Listen, Ryunosuke. We know there are lies lurking in these statements. It's time to expose them.
I understand that. The question is how.
Like I said before, the key to this is using evidence that you collected. You can examine and present evidence while a witness is giving testimony by pressing eh. Go through each witness statement and the details about each piece of evidence and compare all the facts. Somewhere in there you'll find something that doesn't add up. In other words, an inconsistency. Or I guess a contradiction, because they love that word.
An inconsistency?
When you find a statement and a piece of evidence that seems to contradict each other, present your evidence with eh and rip the witness apart.
Oh.
Just be careful, because if you assert a contradiction that has no basis, you'll be given a penalty. If you're dealt too many penalties, the defense's case will fall apart and you'll receive a guilty verdict. So that's it. Pursue the evidence in the court record and find an inconsistency with the witness's statement.
Alright, I'll give it a try.
You can hear the witness's statements over and over again as many times as you like. So keep your head and be measured in your attack. Good luck, partner.
Well, let's look at my evidence again. He shot from the chest, in the chest. Wait, he was shot in the chest. Didn't he say, like, he was shot in the back? Yeah. From the back. Well, he got shot in the chest, not from the back. Yeah, to the chest.
Yes!
Everybody's like, what the fuck do you want, man?
What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting this wad of papers in my mustache?
Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. There's a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense. What can this document possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, what I want to say, but the words won't come out of my mouth. Huh. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. It's so frustrating.
Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation.
It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court.
Cosmo, what? What are you talking about?
It's apparent from a single glance at the post-mortem report presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement.
What?
Sergeant E.A. Seynosa. Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir.
Yes!
But no, that just can't be. And why not, cadet? Because... As is clearly stated in the post-mortem report, fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma, no exit wound, bullet did not pass through the body. The photographic print of the victim clearly shows the same thing. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Ah! Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? Oh, What the? What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it down again.
Certainly. There is a clear discrepancy, but from the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa?
Yes, sir, at this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious Le Carvel steak, sir.
What?
The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant A.A. Seynosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all.
Huh? That's absurd.
I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There's no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom.
Ah!
Got another achievement for that. There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial, just from that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. He said the thing. But I definitely saw him. That university cadet there. He was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
Yes!
Yes, I was. But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor.
And you, old man? You didn't see the moment the victim was shot either?
Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interests me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Oh yes, you were looking for your Goin coin, weren't you? Indeed, the prized Toei-era Goin. Hunting around under the table I was, in case mayhap it had fallen there, and then it happened. Bang. You heard the gunshot, you mean?
Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoei treasure. Nothing could distract me.
Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end?
No.
I see.
That lamentable day, the precious Hoei Goin was lost to me. No doubt, some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself.
As I'm sure everyone present is aware, This case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon.
Nevertheless, this witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subversive our government feels it must be to the British, it would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now.
What is your position, Prosecutor Ouchie?
Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he'll never find a wolf at the back.
Huh.
My witnesses have further testimony to make.
Explain.
Upon hearing their next statements, it'll become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could have possibly committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? I guess you could say he's a despicable me.
Very well. The court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear?
As clear as Kiriko glass, Your Excellency.
Yes, sir, at once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir.
Excuse me, but there's something, or someone, peeking out over your shoulder, I think.
Affirmative. The newest member of the Noza family to rise up through the ranks. Name Ido.
It would seem those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny.
Ido, Teen Shun. Your father's about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy.
The true culprit.
Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing.
Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was. That young lad in the black. That much I myself did see.
Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time could find that we are only personnel present.
Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, standing all by himself.
Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishmen. Over and out. These testimonies are certainly...
Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all.
Please, enough of these outbursts already.
But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her.
Objection!
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you'll respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact.
Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, Counsel?
It's the steak!
Indeed, of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident, he left his steak. As can be plainly seen, there's only one place set.
Certainly, based on the appearance of this print. It would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else.
This doesn't make any sense.
The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record.
A bottle of carbonated water and a steak lunch can be seen on the victim's table. I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. It's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him.
It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witnesses' testimonies we have just heard leave no further room for doubt.
These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Taketsuchi Ouchi, will have contributed to this amity of these two great empires is an honor.
Alright, he's already doing that sprite? Wow. This be happening. The judge is ready to rule.
Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet.
It's not over yet. What?
If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. Now's your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth, in your cross-examination.
I don't know, Kazuma.
The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick, understood?
Rules can be so unbending at times.
Ugh. The true culprit. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing.
Yes!
No, it's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire that gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so.
Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked.
Did you?
Did you see it? Did you see me blink?
How could I?
And yet, it is an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it.
Have what?
T-shun! The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman.
I think that says it all, don't you? And let us not forget that the antique dealer witnessed the accused in this most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Korikoda-san?
Yes!
Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time. But I told you already, that's only because I picked it up off the floor.
Well, obviously, as the culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away.
I just finished drinking my coffee and I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And exactly at that moment, bang. A gunshot rang in my ears. Full of events beyond our control, life is. Sorry? What do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas, conversely, I failed to pick up the kaban from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you, with pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner.
Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present.
Yes!
You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there.
Objection!
As you've been at pains to point out time and time again, I feel I'm growing a callus in my ear. And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman.
If only there had been more people dying there at the time, then someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know, of course the place was almost empty. It's what you'd expect.
Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of a time to eat.
I eat at 2 p.m. sometimes.
I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day and why he was alone.
Yes, Your Excellency. There was indeed a reason.
There was?
This was found in the victim's jacket pocket.
What is that, Counsel?
It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant.
Had a clinic? Yes, there would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question.
The Hada Clinic? That's a reference to the Hottie Clinic in the other games.
19th November, noon to past 1.
The very day of the incident.
So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case.
I wonder... What do you think, Ryunosuke? Well, it's hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered in the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful.
Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's medical report? I mean, why not?
Yes!
If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency.
On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Objection!
Whether or not they're of concern is up for us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues.
I beg your pardon?
You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence.
Very well. The court will grant the defense's request.
Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's the most disturbing trend.
Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record.
A medical report card from Hada Clinic that was found in the victim's pocket.
What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you.
You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you'd forgotten that these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Koreeda-san.
Dining all by himself? Okay, well, let me look at my, let me see, a medical report. Wait, can I not examine this? I can't examine the medical report card. This is just the... Oh, I can zoom in on shit? Huh, well that's nice. Medical report. Dining all by himself.
Yes!
So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone.
I did. Forgive me for the position I place you in. So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. As can clearly be seen, there's only a single beefsteak on the victim's table, a meal for one.
No. The antiques dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who had testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying.
But, if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea. Over and out.
Yes!
Why aren't you telling the truth?
What? What did you say, Cadet?
I clearly remember. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to fail to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible.
Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo, it's just not a case of these two witnesses alone. The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone.
That's right.
Precisely. In other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady.
But I...
If such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It is a blatant waste of the court's time.
There's nothing I can say to that. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. We've gleaned some new information now. Well, yeah, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light.
Also, you know what? I think I'm gonna lay down, honestly. I want to get comfortable. Because, I don't know. I'm not really enjoying sitting up all that much. Alright, let me take a drink. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna set this up? It's really hard to lay down and also stream at the same time. Oh, here, I got an idea. I'll put the mic, like, right over here next to me. Like that. That should be good. Okay, there we go. Now we're comfy. Now we're comfy. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got there. Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. Oh, now it's letting me examine it more? Okay, I gotcha. You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use... Okay, I gotcha. To rotate the evidence in all directions, examine it from all angles. By using Okay, that's nice. You can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. If the crosshairs start to pulsate, press Ant to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. I need to use to inspect any areas of the evidence that look suspicious. Sus. Okay, medical report card. Well, can I read this? Can't find anything out, please. What about this? It looks like this medical report card was first issued quite some time ago. It's probably a record of long-term treatment, that's why. With a family doctor, I imagine. Well, I can't imagine. Going to a doctor, I mean. As long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. Well, if you're dead, there'd be no point. So you don't like doctors, then? Why would you? They make you drink horrible-tasting medicine. They give you painful injections. And then they demand lots of money for you for the privilege. Oh, on your lowest ebb. You sound like a model patient. With a bad case of stubbornness, no less. Which the only cure is very bitter medicine, indeed. That was just flavor text. Well, what about this? Oh, look at that. That's something. Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. Oh, and there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It seems so. Just for the incident, he'd had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they used laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of anesthesia. Yeah, I'm just gonna say that from now on, whatever. Well, it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. Oh, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic effects have passed. Oh, no food or drink, huh? Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. Oh, okay, that's what we need then. Record of dental work. On the day of the murder, the victim had undergone dental treatment and been prohibited from eating or drinking anything but water. With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely. Okay, I gotcha. It's almost the same thing. Furthermore, visual search at the premise at the time. He was dying all by himself. And we can probably prove that, well, let me see. So there's water and then there's steak. So should I present the crime scene photograph or the medical report? What was the other statement? Probably this one then. Let me try this.
Yes!
Well, I think, what are you wearing, lad? Call yourself a lawyer? I wish I could, but first and foremost here, I'm the accused. Ryunosuke. Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I can see it quite clearly in the cross-examination you just carried out. You raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully. You knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. Oh. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright. And thanks for the advice. Korikuda-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim. Ah, I see. And I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement. Something clearly doesn't add up.
Objection!
Dear me, have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur?
Sorry, what?
You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel.
But...
Let's see if I can explain words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have been doing before that time is completely irrelevant.
But that's, Remember, Ryunosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point.
Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There's surely no need to there's no need to prolong this trial. I can't talk today. The witness testimonies the court has heard has been far, clear, and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there's no one else besides this pale-faced pupil who could have possibly put...
This medical report card has nothing to do with the case? Do you really believe that?
What? That outburst half petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant?
Perhaps because Hada Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic.
A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me?
Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted. Huh? What's this now? And furthermore, if I told you that as a result the victim had been forbidden from eating... Just what are you trying to say, Cadet? He had orders not to eat, so what? It's all written up here. No food or drink other than the water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off.
What? No, that can't be.
Korekuta-san. What, boy, what? As you just heard, when he was killed sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally, there's more. You've assured the court is with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. Oh, I like how the desk sound improved. But that possibly can't be the case. Ugh. Because the victim, as we now know, had just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of anesthetic. Ugh. Expertly done, partner. Ooh, nice.
Objection!
What? What is this nonsense? You little upstart.
I love that word, upstart. That's a funny word.
These are baseless accusations. Just look at this photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table.
Objection!
Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic?
How? How dare you?
I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant case have turned. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Huh? Yes, most definitely. So having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who in fact was eating the pictured beefsteak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assure you're ready, counsel. Counsel? Oh, that means me, doesn't it? Alright. The answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of your turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it? So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been, an as yet unknown third party. Obviously, it could have only been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table.
Objection!
You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person.
Yes!
There was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on this table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial, relentlessly. Kazuma,
Are you insane? You would take on the government?
don't worry, Counsel. I have no issue with you.
What do you mean?
I have issue with them, those two witnesses in the stand. What? What are you talking about? We've demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you'll be charged with perjury. Perjury? And since this is a murder trial, you'll also be deemed complicit in the killing.
Complicit in murder?
No! Hold it. Negative. There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting. I was just following orders.
That's right, as the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they told us.
Oh. What? What did you just say, Korikuda-san?
Oh, no.
You were just following orders?
Now on that, I was,
Say you never saw the gentlewoman? When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim of the lady from overseas? Oh damn, shit's getting interesting. What?
Objection!
What? What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you pair?
Just one simple slip of the tongue. Order. Counsel, explain what's going on here. It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth.
Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this.
Then who's behind this? Who tried to keep your mouth shut?
Well,
That's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you? Man, they're like fucking accessories now or something, aren't they? You wouldn't. This can't be happening. Ryunosuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Ouchie had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It could only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas who might be behind this? Probably the true killer, though, right? If we can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. Of course, we'll need evidence before we can make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his or her power here. But how? How can we possibly? Remember how we made progress before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Oh yeah, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything, and make sure there's nothing we've missed. There's no time to lose. There's no time to waste.
I want answers. If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe.
Please, wait! Your Excellency, I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I knew nothing.
And what does the defense have to say about this,
Well, Your Excellency. Time to think. I'm just gonna have to close my eyes and shout out the first thing that comes to my head. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witness is... Maybe the guy... Maybe the waiter? Maybe the waiter did it.
Yes!
Well, surely that would be Satoru Hosonaga-san.
Hosonaga-san? The waiter who took the stand earlier?
Objection!
Poppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have to make these witnesses to give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence.
For once, I would agree with you. If, that is, the man truly were a waiter.
What? If he truly were?
Come on, Ryunosuke. Time to hit this court with the truth. The truth about Satoru Hosonaga-san's real identity, as proven by this evidence.
Maybe the head waiter? Can I examine this some more?
This plan of the restaurant raised a number of questions, I think.
Definitely.
It's supposed to show the relative position of everything in the moments following the incident. But there's nothing to show the woman you saw there.
Exactly. And that's not all. Look here in the upper left, where it says kitchen.
Oh yes, what of it?
No one would use those complicated characters, right? Kitchen. Especially not if they were in a hurry.
I mean, you don't remember those characters yourself, don't you? Study harder, Ryunosuke.
What about the back, though? Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga. Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau? What the fuck? That's kind of a red flag.
Well, that's unexpected.
What is?
Look, do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga?
Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point.
It's not the name that's unexpected. It's his job title.
His job? Oh. Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division. Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? What on earth?
I have no idea. Let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence, if they're wielding it somewhere here.
Okay. He's a police inspector, then. Anything else I can inspect? No, I think that's it. Okay, then. It's stated that he's a police inspector.
Yes!
The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question? I agree it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure how we can conclude anything.
Sorry, Your Excellency, that's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's of interest.
I beg your pardon?
Or perhaps I should have said the front? Yes, it's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is.
Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say?
Hosonaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession. His true profession.
The waiter's profession? Well, that's surely... Good gracious!
That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau.
What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard of any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before?
The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power. Absolute power as far as regular civilians are concerned. Ace Attorney's going pretty great. I'm enjoying it. So, witness there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene?
Well...
Hold it. Inspector Hosonaga. I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility.
The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence.
Yeah, he didn't like that very much. Yes, I remember it now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake.
So, you mean to say you really are a detective?
But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Ah, of course. Your salary must be... I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. This is some good music. Incidents at the restaurant? What kinds of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I'm not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide.
Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga. But you will elaborate on one point for the court.
Of course, Your Excellency.
We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you had also been aware of this person's presence having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner, therefore I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you required these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct?
Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable. As I suspected. Bang. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady whom I'd guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the Bureau. It was then I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say... remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interests not to pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms for its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as the primary suspect. Well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Cosma? UMA University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain. And I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical facilities research laboratory, or faculty, not facility, is a young Englishwoman. What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you've chosen the candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean, when I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first.
Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector.
The Englishwoman sitting at the university professor's table was certain Miss Giselle Brett. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of UMA University's medical facility. Faculty, not facility, I keep saying it wrong.
What is happening here?
I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene, and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to your excellency to decide how to deal with this situation.
Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point.
Objection!
But Your Excellency, that would mean missing the noon deadline of ruling in order to send the telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions.
Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Inspector Hosonaga.
Yes, sir.
You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency.
At once, Your Excellency.
But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau.
As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So, it won't be a problem? Okay, I have to really take a piss. So, yeah. I'll be right back, guys. Alright, I have returned. even though you've always wanted to play Ace Attorney for very long, at least you're experiencing it for yourself. Maybe I should get into it too. Yeah, if you want to. The entire trilogy, at least the original trilogy, is on Steam, so might not be a bad idea. Nothing will get in my way.
Court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English student, Giselle Brett, to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear?
Yes. Your Excellency.
Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening.
Oh, I mean, I could have taken a piss during this. To be continued, huh? You think this might be a good place to end for now? Yeah, let's save our progress. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we've been going for 2 hours, and I think that was only, like, the first half of the trial. So, I can probably call it here for tonight, honestly. I am starting to get hungry, so, you know what? More reasons to end the stream. So yeah, as always, guys, make sure to like and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch. I'm enjoying this so far, and I've only done, like, what, 2 hours? 2 hours of the game? Yeah, so I'm looking forward to playing more of this again soon. I can try and do some more of it tomorrow, hopefully. Because, so I gotta tell you guys what's happening tomorrow. So, tomorrow morning, me and Coffee are gonna play some Persona 2. We gotta finish up that game. That game's been going on for so long. Like, we should have ended it, like, last month. But, whatever. And, later that day, we can probably play more Great Ace Attorney then. Because I don't think I'm playing with anybody tomorrow. At least not to my knowledge yet. So yeah, and then Thursday, we're doing the last Mario Kart 8 event for a little while. Because we're going to check out the new tracks. So that's going to be fun. And then, yeah, I think we can probably play this game every day, I think. If I end up getting bored and I want something to do later tonight, I'll probably do some SMBX. How about that? Alright, well, I will see you guys later then. So, bye.